Okay. As far as before Don gets started, I want to talk a little bit about the two products that we sell currently today. Today we have two products called RhinoCAM and VisualCADCAM. RhinoCAM is really is a very powerful CAD, which is the Rhino portion of it, and then you have Rhino, the CAM part, which is our MecSoft's contribution to the CAM portion of the solution. Really very powerful CAD and CAM combination product. So if you are a shop that is looking for both design, powerful design, and CAM capabilities, then RhinoCAM will be the most appropriate product for you. While VisualCADCAM, on the other hand, is easy to use CAD. It doesn't have all the power of Rhino. Obviously, it's targeted more for simple machining, simple users who do not have a lot of sophisticated CAD needs, or they do have a CAD system like SolidWorks or other CAD systems, and they just want a simple, easy to use CAM product that they can use in the shop or do in the shop floor or in the manufacturing department.
Joe, it looks like your audio is breaking up some, Joe.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Are you done with this slide?
Yeah. Why don't you? No, I just wanted to. Am I still breaking up?
No, you're okay now.
Okay. All right. As far as the companies we target with RhinoCAM, it's more design and manufacturing companies, larger companies typically, while VisualCADCAM is more job shops, maybe a mom and pop operation and things of that nature. RhinoCAM includes NURBS, mesh, and sub-D modeling, while VisualCADCAM is basically NURBS plus mesh modeling. We don't have sub-D in VisualCADCAM. And then in Rhino, obviously, because of the parametric design, and then you also have the powerful API automation. And then you have extensive data translators in Rhino, and it's really, this combination is suitable for our complete line of configuration, starting from 2-axis all the way up to 5-axis continuous. If you are going to be using 5-axis continuous, the only product we will sell you is the Rhino plus RhinoCAM. VisualCADCAM, on the other hand, is suitable for 2 all the way up to 3 plus 2 axes, and DXF, DWG programming. It's easy management because you're dealing with only one product. Licensing and all of that is pretty easy to do, and of course, it's a lot cheaper than RhinoCAM. So as far as it's a very the value investment that you get with it is pretty good. Okay, so Don, you want to take over from here?
Sure, I'll take over. Hello, everyone. I'm glad you could join us today. I'm going to be going over a pretty cool presentation of each of the configurations. And so you get a really good understanding of what's in each configuration and why the next higher configuration is better, and what the kind of features it'll give you by moving up one configuration. Now, if you look on this slide, I've got part models in each one of these little balloons here, and we're going to be using a tool and die theme, okay, for these parts of the demo as far as the examples, but obviously it's not reserved to tool and die. We have a lot of just sheet stock machining. We have a lot of woodworking, so we got a lot of other application types, but we're just going to be illustrating in the mold and die since it's relatively easy to compare part files. So we're going to talk about the Express on the left, and then we'll move over to the Standard, Expert, Professional, and Premium. And we're going to go, let's go ahead and go to the next slide. The first thing we want to talk about is that we get a lot of questions from users about what features are in their configuration, or if they're expecting to see a feature and they can't find it. They often ask us to get an understanding of why it's not there, or what's in the next higher configuration. And a lot of users may not know this, but you can run each configuration of the product in demo mode. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to reinstall anything. All you need to do is just unplug your internet cable so you're not online and run the product. And the first dialog you will see over here on the left, it'll be the welcome or get started dialog. Since it couldn't activate your license because you're not online, it'll give you this option here on what you want to do in the product. So if you want to run one of the configurations in demo mode, just select the first option at the top. And obviously you have additional options to activate. You can get learning resources, etc. So you select Run CAM Demo and you'll see this next dialog right here in the middle. And it has each of the core modules: milling, turning, art module, nesting, mesh, profile nest, and G-code editor. For the mill, there's multiple configurations. You see the little drop-down menu below it. These other modules, there are no distinguishing configurations within those modules. So just select mill, then select your configuration. And well, actually, it's the other way around. Select your configuration and then select mill, and it'll launch the product in that configuration. Now, just so you know, you can experience all of the features in that configuration other than saving your operations and posting. So you can't post, you can't save, but while you're running that configuration, you can experience everything that's in that configuration. Nothing is held back because you're in demo mode. You can see everything and experience each of the operation types. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the questions panel and we'll get to them. Okay, so let's move on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to obviously start out with the lowest configuration, Express. And you see this little pop-up icon here on the bottom left. If you pay attention to this, you'll get an understanding of what types of features are added as we move up in the configuration. Okay, so we're currently looking at Express. So in Express configuration, you're going to do basically prismatic parts, 2.5 axis parts, very, very basic 3-axis. Okay, and you have drilling as far as that. Let's go look at the list up here. So in Express, you got basic hole machining, you got standard drilling, and then you have different types of drilling: deep drilling, countersink, brake chip drilling, and more. And the tool types of tool you can use are targeted to these basic, very basic operation types. Now you also that's the basic hole machining. In the basic 2-axis operation types, you can do, and if you look at this, if you look at the bar heel, you'll get an understanding of which operation types would apply. But you can do facing, 2.5 axis facing, pocketing, basic profiling. You can do engraving and V-carving, and then obviously there's more. We can't list everything in here, all of the features, but you can go to our website, and if you select on one of the products from our website, just scroll down and you'll see the features table. So you'll get an idea of what everything that's involved with each configuration. So with Express, you have basic 3-axis operations. You have horizontal roughing and parallel finishing, just 2 basic 3-axis operations. Now, you need to understand that in the basic Express, the types of 3-axis parts you're going to be cutting will be very basic. One thing comes to mind is mold cores, very basic parts that you can just run one roughing and one finishing on the model. And then obviously we talked about the cutters. So that is the Express configuration. And again, targeted to basic, like for instance, sheet machining, if you're just cutting out patterns, okay, or if you're cutting out a very simplistic prismatic parts. So we're moving
One
up.
other thing I wanted to add was, Donna, one other thing I wanted to add was to make sure that if you're just starting out in machining, this might be a good configuration to get. And then once you get your feet wet, you can always step up to the higher configurations. So it's a good starter configuration.
Yeah, we
Thank you, Don.
provide a really easy migration path if you need some additional features. Now, running a good way to get an understanding of whether you do need additional features, just run the product in demo mode like we mentioned in the previous slide, and just run the next highest configuration than you have, and you'll get an understanding of what are the additional features that are in there. So we're going to upgrade up to the standard configuration. And at the bottom left, you'll see that in addition to the 2 and 3 axis express configuration, the very basics of 2 and 3 axis, you also have 2 and 3 axis standard operations, which is a whole lot more 2 axis operations and approximately 5 3 axis operations. So in the little picture here for the part, you see a part that's a little bit more than just prismatic. You've got some contoured surfaces that you need to machine, which would be better served using the standard configuration. Okay. Now you can always program any part in any configuration, but what we're talking about the differences is the amount of toolpath operation types and that you get. And each of those operation types brings some additional control to you as far as the cutter paths, okay? And obviously that will affect surface finish on what you're cutting. So in this standard configuration, you start with the express that we just talked about, and then we're going to add the standard configuration, which you have standard 2-axis operations such as face top, roughing. Now this is in as well as the express that we just talked about. So the additional operation types, some examples of face top, you get 2-axis roughing, you get engraving, slotting, chamfering, and you also introduction to the feature machining capability in the product. And obviously there's more operation and capabilities. But as far as 3-axis, you also get in the express, you only get the horizontal finishing and horizontal roughing, but in the standard, you get the horizontal roughing, the horizontal finishing. You also get some additional radial and spiral finishing. If you look at this part, you'll see this it's circular or radial in nature. So these radial and spiral machining methods will come in handy for this type of part. And you also get adaptive roughing and the more advanced simulation. Now, in the Express, you get a very basic simulation capability. Starting in the standard, you get our best simulation capability. Okay, so this is standard. So in standard, you get Express, and then you get some additional features, 2-axis and 3-axis features. So let's move up. So we just upgraded to 4-axis expert. So in the expert configuration, you have everything that was in the standard and the basic that we just talked about. So in the expert, the type of parts, primarily what you get in expert is 4-axis machining. So if you have parts that are radial in nature that you want to machine, and if your machine has 4-axis capability, if it has a radial axis that you can either attach to your router or built into the configuration of the machine, you can take advantage of the expert configuration and cut parts on a radial axis. Similar to lathe, but different types of operation types that you can do in 4-axis. Again, we're starting in standard. So we're going to add to that the expert, which gives you all of the advanced 2-axis in the standard, okay? And you also get T-slotting and knife cutting and some more. And then over to the advanced 4-axis operation types, you get in the Expert, you get all of our 4-axis features, all of the toolpath features, all of the other auxiliary or utility features in 4-axis. You get facing pocketing profiling. You get 4-axis parallel finishing. These many of these are continuous 4-axis operations. So you got projection pocketing, engraving, drive surface machining, and then as far as utility, you get radial indexing and more. So if you're interested or have parts that you need to cut on a radial axis and you have the capability on your machine, just run the product in the Expert configuration. And also I want to mention that also in the product, there are quick start guides for each configuration. So you can, rerun the product in a higher configuration, go through the quick start guide, and you'll get a very good understanding of what the capabilities are. Okay, so Expert, you get standard, and you get additional features that are in the Expert configuration. Standard down here on the left, add to that 4-axis Expert configurations. So let's go to the next slide. We've upgraded now to professional. This is my favorite configuration because it has our advanced set of 3-axis toolpath operations. As you can see in the product here, in the professional bubble here, you're seeing a relatively complex mold insert. So the professional configuration gives you a lot of toolpath types that you can use to accurately machine things of this nature, as you can see. And again, like I mentioned before, you're not limited to just these type of parts. Any part that has contours and you need to have exacting control over the cutter. Now, one thing I did want to mention here, when I say better control, I'm not talking about accuracy. The accuracy in the part is you can dial it into as accurate as you need it. This is included in every configuration. Okay, so I'm not saying you don't have less. You have less accuracy. You have the best accuracy that you need, but you just don't have the number of toolpath operations that you may need in order to get the best type of surface finish on your part. So again, we're looking at professional. And in the professional configuration, you get these capabilities that I show here in the bottom right. You get the express and the standard configuration, which is all of our advanced 2-axis, and you get the standard 3-axis operation types. You get all of the 4-axis that we just mentioned, the continuous 4-axis machining and indexed, what we call 4+1 machining. And then also you have what we call our 3+2, which is basically just indexed setups that you can use to cut your part from multiple sides. Okay. Again, we're looking at professional. So if we go to the top and we look to the right, you have everything that's in the Expert, which again is everything that's in the Express and everything that's in the Standard. But you also get some advanced 2-axis operation types, such as you get remachining in 2-axis, collision detecting. You also get toolpath editing, where in lower configurations, you only have what we call a toolpath viewer, where you can view the motions and you can see the coordinates and everything, but you can't edit them until you get to the professional configuration. You can, in the Pro, you can, as far as the toolpath editing, there's a whole list of things you can do in the toolpath editing that we don't list here, and we'll show you that. From one of those is toolpath diagnostics. If you're having difficulty with your toolpath, you want to get more information about it, you can do that in the professional. And also you can backplot your G-code, okay, and many more features. And add to that, this is my favorite part right here, is if you're going to be cutting complex contours such as molds, anything that has a party line, anything that has relative complexity, where you need the most control over the tool, the professional configuration is what you want to go with, because you have 21 different advanced 3-axis toolpath methods, which includes many. We'll look at them here in just a moment. But you also get all of our 3-axis utilities. You get fixture offset programming, XY instancing. You have the full toolpath editor, all of the capabilities in our toolpath editor. You also, this should be radio, by the way, not radii. You also get radio and XY instancing, feed rate optimization. So there's a lot of stuff that you get in the professional configuration. Basically everything except for 5-axis is in the Pro. So this is one of the best and one of the most popular configurations for our users.
Well, we have 3+2. We have index 5-axis. So we just don't have the 5-axis continuous machining in professional.
Right.
So everything else you get.
Okay. So let's bump up to our highest configuration. So we're looking at premium. You got a part here, obviously, that you probably want to machine that using continuous 5-axis methods to get the best toolpath finish for this type of part, okay? So in the premium, up here on the left, so you get everything that's in the Pro, so everything that we talked about so far is in the premium configuration. And then add to that, you get all of the advanced 4-axis that we just mentioned, that's in the expert. And then you get additional, all of our 5-axis capability in the premium. So you get continuous 5-axis methods, okay? All of the advanced 5-axis methods that you need for 5-axis machining, curve projection machining. These are all continuous methods. Flow curve machining, between two curves machining, drive curve machining, surface normal, where you want the tool to stay normal or at 90 degrees to any point on the surface. So that's surface normal machining. And probably one of the most popular is swarf machining, and we'll show you that. And obviously a lot more. So again, this is our highest configuration. It's called Premium. So if you look down at the capability icons down here, you get all of the Express, all of the standard. So you get the 2 and 3-axis advanced, and you get all of what's in the expert, which gives you the 4-axis advanced, and then you get all of what's in 5-axis, which gives you, as well as the index 3+2, you get continuous 5-axis methods, which we list all up here. And then obviously over here on the right, we add another icon here for continuous 5-axis capability.